To test whether the paralyzed wealthy man truly had no sensation, he placed a scalding hot kettle on the man's leg.
Non mais vous avez fini de jouer, quoi?
Mais en fait, vous sentez rien du tout là.
But that wasn't all. Learning that the wealthy man hadn't been close to a woman in a long time, he hired a woman to give him a massage. Seeing someone park illegally, he personally confronted and chased them away. At the theater, he openly mocked a performer as a singing tree and pressed, "Is he singing in German? This is driving me insane." Faced with such a rude and disrespectful gaffer, friends urged the wealthy man to fire him immediately, warning that this man had once been in prison for robbery, had just been released, and had no empathy. But the wealthy man's response was unexpected. "That's exactly what I want, no pity." As a person with total paralysis, he was tired of being treated as a pitiful cripple. Only in the presence of this black man did he feel like a normal person with dignity. The wealthy man's name was Philippe. Paralyzed from the neck down after a skydiving accident, he had become irritable and gone through caregivers rapidly until Driss came along. Driss didn't come for the job, but to get his rejection signature to qualify for welfare benefits. He was blunt, talked back, and mocked Philippe's taste in music, yet made him laugh wholeheartedly for the first time. Philippe decided to give him a chance. From then on, this man from the projects with a criminal record entered the life of the billionaire. Driss messed up nearly every aspect of caregiving, applied the wrong ointment, fed meals into Philippe's eyes, got distracted during baths by music, but he also took Philippe on joyrides, stood up to neighbors who stole parking spots, and injected unruly joy into his life of paralysis. Late at night, when Philippe gasped in pain from his condition, Driss wheeled him out to see the night view and stayed by his side, talking and smoking together. They discussed love, death, and the meaning of existence. Philippe said, "It isn't physical disability that breaks a person, it's the loss of hope." Driss replied, "If it were me, I'd have killed myself." Philippe smiled bitterly. "Even suicide is difficult for me." With Driss's encouragement, Philippe finally worked up the courage to call a woman he'd been writing to for 6 months, and even planned to meet. Although he backed out at the last moment, out of insecurity, Driss never stopped pushing him to face life. At the same time, Philippe influenced Driss. He taught him responsibility, boundaries, and the value of art. Driss began taking life seriously, looking for a job, caring for his family, and even selling his own painting, though it was just a doodle he'd made. Eventually, Philippe realized Driss belonged in a wider world. He fired him, saying, "You can't spend your life pushing a disabled man in a wheelchair." After Driss left, Philippe returned to his monotonous life until one evening, when Driss reappeared. He took Philippe on a fast drive to see the ocean for a shave, and finally to a seaside restaurant where the pen pal was waiting. "Kiss her well for me," Driss said, leaving behind a stolen Faberge egg he'd once taken before walking away. Philippe finally embraced a new beginning.